Todd Johnson. I met you a couple weeks ago, and you know what? It was a cool place. We were at Shaker Village. How many coveys did you end up getting into?
10 coveys.
10 coveys. Natural birds and not
Natural
been put
birds,
there.
and probably didn't hunt over 150 acres.
That's exactly right. We were in birds all day.
All day.
Wild birds.
Wild birds. Nothing
like
introduced.
the old days. Tell us where we are, what county we're in, and a little bit about this facility.
We're in Jessamine County, Bluegrass Sportsman's League. It's 1,400 some odd acres. A lot of different divisions and a lot of different things we can do here. We're at the gun dog division where we maintain a kennel of dogs and do some training. I'm going to kind of talk about what you do when they're just a puppy.
Christmas time, right around the corner, there's going to be a lot of kids digging around under that tree, and they're going to come up with a little retriever or a pointer, but a lot of labs.
Patrick! Your puppy! Oh my gosh!
Can we today talk about the early development of a dog and things that will overlap for any dog, training things that you may want to do or not do very early? At a very, where do you start?
Well, where you start is deciding what kind of dog is going to fit your family.
Now, who's this we're going to see here?
This is Clementine.
Clementine.
Now, even within your labs, there's different styles of labs. Before you purchase a puppy, you really need to talk to that breeder and see what he's breeding. Secondly, remember that this is a big time requirement and money. You know, people say, well, I'll get me a pup and I'll do this and that. Well, you know, you got vet, you got food, you got time, you got everything.
What are you going to do with him when you take a trip?
Right. All those things. They're things you got to consider. You know, formal training usually doesn't start to 7, 8 months old. But we get our puppy home and we want to have fun with it, and we can develop a lot of skills in that pup. Now, here's what most people do. They'll get out there and they'll throw it something and throw it and throw it and throw it. We're not going to make him better by throwing him a ton of retrieves. But what we're going to do is we're going to make him better when we do good retrieves. You can just throw a bumper so far. Well, that puppy goes out there and picks it up. Well, he gets used to going that 40 yards and I can throw that bumper. And that starts to build a wall up. And it's hard for him to get past that. So the proper way is we get somebody to help us, and they walk out there a little bit and hey the pup, pitch it out there, he goes, picks it up, brings it back to the handler. And then what we want to do is we want to make it successful, but we want to add some challenge to it. We want him to do it every time, but we want to get out farther, add some cover, and add some things like that.
And this is where a kid could help you out.
Oh, absolutely.
And they'd have a big time with it.
Yes, buddy, and I mean, it'd be a big time for them.
Yeah. Hey.
What we're wanting to teach her to do is she can't go until we let her go. Clem.
So you just released her. She knew to be at your
I
side.
released her on her name.
Now, she doesn't necessarily know where that is site-wise. She's got to find it.
Right. Now, here's what you got to do. Just give them time. Don't get excited. Don't think you got to start. Good girl. You know, a lot of people, if they don't run right to it, they think, well, I need to start handling her. Well, you don't. Heel, sit, give, good girl, good girl, good girl.
And sometimes we forget the simple stuff. How important and how easy it is to get a dog to heel.
5 minutes a day, 10, 12 days, we'll get her doing it pretty good on leash. Then we're going to overlay the e-collar on it. And then from there, you know, another week or so, and we're going to get her doing it pretty good. You know, we start out with a slip lead. Put the slip lead on her. When she's not where she's supposed to be, it's comfortable, uncomfortable. We put her back, that's uncomfortable. When she realizes that when she's in the right spot, everything's fine. Once we get her to where we know she understands what she's doing, then we'll overlay the e-collar on. We'll just turn it down real low. I mean, I'd put it in my hand. All it is something that she can feel. It's no worse than the tug on the slip collar. And then as I'm tugging her back in, I'm hitting the e-collar. And when she gives the pressure, I let it go. She learns to turn the pressure off. She knows when she gets in the right spot, it turns the pressure off. And then once we get her the collar conditioned and get that overlaid on the command, then we use that, and then we can eventually get to where we don't use the collar. But what that does is that gives us the wherewithal, because like I said earlier, never give a command you cannot enforce. We need to always have a way that we can enforce it.
What's the worst thing? What's the most common mistake that you can make with a dog and really mess one up early?
Tug of war with a lab, keep away with a lab, none of that stuff.
Because they get possessive.
Right. Throwing sticks. You don't want to throw a lot of any sticks. Never give a command over twice, and only do it then if you just think that the dog didn't hear you. But, you know, this ain't, you know, like somebody told me one time, this ain't a democracy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's, you know, I get to tell you what to do. And
it's just like a dog now. It's like a kid. There are, you watch these shows like Dog Whisperer, there are dogs that rule people's homes.
Absolutely.
They have stepped out of the role as the alpha dog,
Absolutely.
and the dog has control. They're
That's
controlling the people in the house.
Absolutely.
You see it with kids.
You do.
You say, how did this get out of control like this? And it's very commonsensical things. My dad taught me at a very early age, you don't do this. And you know what? I knew that, and I didn't do it, and I respected him for that, and do to this day. And it's very simple.
And it was like I said earlier, he never lied to you either, did he?
Never.
He said, if you do that, something's going to happen, and I guarantee you it happened.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with a dog. You know, if you start lying to them and you make them sit this time and not the next time, then it confuses them and makes them more difficult.
Like I say, it's almost Christmas. It's going to be, people are going to have this puppy, and they're going to want to do all kinds of stuff. Thank you so much for helping us out with the, here's some quick and easy, do this, don't do that.
Right.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.